I'm Mel,
And I'm Andrea.
and we've been asking ourselves, WTF? Where's the fun?
So, welcome to our podcast for heart-led business leaders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More impact, more wealth, more joy, and more magic, all while having even more fun than ever before.
As co-founders of FunX, we believe that life and business is way more fulfilling when you're following the fun.
So we're flipping the script on success, giving you permission to create from a whole new paradigm where you can have a lasting impact while nurturing your well-being and having a freaking blast along the way.
So join us each week for engaging solo episodes
and real conversations with experts who are embodying this new paradigm of leadership, spiritual wealth, business growth, and of course, fun.
If you're ready to reignite your spark, make bold moves, and lead from a whole new energy,
let's jump in and have some fun. So we just recorded an episode for you about all things intentions, manifestation, visualization. What else, Mel?
what we're doing in this season to end 2024 strong in order to plant seeds for 2025.
So you're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome back to another episode of WTF.
Where's the fun?
Well, okay, and it is right here.
Woohoo!
Okay, so what's up?
Well, our whole intention of this episode is to really talk into all things manifestation, visualization. And what I thought was cool this morning is I asked you, I was like, what is something that I need to hear?
That could have gone very south.
I know. It was a risky question.
We're lucky I already had coffee in me.
Well, I was like, what do I need to hear for the next month or two? So what did you say?
I told you, from my opinion or my perspective, is that I think you really need to dial in. If you dial in your manifesting, your visualizing, and taking aligned action, you're going to finish 2024 so strong that it actually is going to propel you to have an amazing 2025. Like, you have spent a lot of this year planting seeds, and I think dialing in the visualization of seeing those seeds come to fruition, I feel like it will set your 2025 up. Not only will you finish 2024 super strong, going into, basically we have a month until we take holidays. And I think if you really dive into that and really commit to that, I think sky's the limit.
Okay, I love this. So for those listening, why would you say that? Why visualization? Why
I think
manifesting?
for you in particular, you are a powerful manifester. And when you visualize, you get into a vibration and an energetics, like a frequency that you invoke an emotion within you when you visualize so much that you feel it, that it always happens for you.
Yeah.
When you do that.
Yeah. I think I do agree. I would say, powerful in my manifesting, but I think I also practice it a lot. And this is something we've been doing for decades.
Mhm.
So I agree. I think
Because I think at this time of year, people can get into the hustle and bustle of Christmas. There's so many parties and events going on. And I think it sometimes takes away from continuing to plant those seeds for 2025. But I think if you can dial it in right now, I think you set yourself up in Q1 for a great start.
I love it. So let's maybe break it down for those listening for what that could look like.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe what it looks like for me, what it looks like for you, because I think there are some key elements that we can all use in manifesting, but I also think there's also things that work better for others.
Yeah.
And just like what's more fun.
Like even for me, what works best for me is words of affirmation. I can feel into it. It's like I can tap into the frequency with affirmations where you don't use affirmations much.
No. And I think the key with manifesting and, let's say, visualizing, the point of it is to create almost like that movie or that story, how you want it to be. Like, you're focusing on what you want. And I think why I don't resonate with affirmations as much is I'm very visual. If I can't see it, then I can't feel it. So I need something that evokes emotion. But for you, affirmations evoke emotion. And I think this is really important because some of you are like, affirmations, say this thing. But if you don't, one, believe it, then it's not helpful.
Yeah.
Because now you're just continuing to repeat something that you actually don't believe. But two, if it's not evoking the emotion that you want to feel, then there's still going to be a disconnect to what you're manifesting. So I think finding what makes sense to you is important. But I think the key elements is also setting the intention. What is the intention of what you want to create?
Yeah.
What's the feeling or the emotion that you want to feel as if it's already completed or done, it's happened, and then to let go of the outcome. So those are kind of the key elements. You want to set the intention. You want to be able to feel it, see it as much, I guess, senses as you can. And then you want to be able to do your best, put all your energy, effort towards it, and then let it go.
Yeah. The letting go part, I think, is the hardest for people. So, like, wrap your head around. But it is true. It's like, if you can, like, if you know in your heart it's going to happen, you don't have to squeeze it so tight.
Yeah.
So you can let it go. And then it ends up manifesting quicker than you think. It's like when you were leaving policing, you were in policing for 10 years, and about year 5 in, we started to make an exit plan for you. And then we hired a coach. And if she had said, you can leave tomorrow,
I was out of there.
you would have
See you later.
But she knew that wasn't
Smart.
yeah, smart. We weren't ready for you to actually leave. And you were doing it from fear. You were leaving out of desperation, not inspiration. It took another 5 years, and you got to a point where you had even said, okay, if I have to stay here for 2 more years, I am okay with that. And what happened then?
Like 2 months later, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to leave. And then I was terrified because
No, 2 months later, you did leave.
well, yeah, which scared me because I'm like, it happened faster than I actually
Yeah,
thought. And it's true. It's like,
because you had let go.
I know.
You were, for 5 years, you were squeezing that, wanting to leave. You're squeezing that goal so freaking hard.
Okay.
It wasn't until you said, I'm okay to go slower,
Yeah.
when slow is actually fast.
Today's episode of WTF, Where's the Fun, is sponsored by The Fun Experience, a curated mastermind for established business owners, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More magic, more joy, more wealth, and more fun than ever before. So if you're ready for a peer-to-peer mastermind that's helping you to embody more leadership, more impact, and make bold moves, The Fun Experience is where it's at.
So maybe that's part of the manifestation, even for now. It's like we're good at visualizing. I think we're good at setting our intentions, but maybe part of the process is going a little bit slower and letting go of the outcome and just doing our best in each could be situation, or like we have a lot of fun things coming up. So it's like, how can we let go of the outcome?
And I think
I love that.
so many people right now, it's the end of the year, and some people feel like, oh my God, maybe I didn't hit my big goal. And they're panicked. So what they're doing is they're squeezing that goal. And what I would say to them, I'd say, take a fucking breath. Slow is fast. Slow down, gather yourself again. Do what you need to do. Visualize, get back on track, and let go of the outcome. And I guarantee Q1, that goal is going to happen.
It's so funny because yesterday I had a whole plan of all the things I wanted to do. I'm like, we're going to do 1,800 different things. And then all of a sudden, we were talking.
I was like, we are not doing that.
And I checked in. It's sunny outside. It's November. It's like, that's not often. And really what I was being called to do is to nurture myself. So we took all the things that we were supposed to be doing and tapped into what we actually needed, which I think is part of the manifestation of what we want. It's slowing down. And that's what we did. Like, we went for a hike. I took the pressure off, which immediately
Felt better.
it gave me relief. And I think
Yeah.
relief is a good sign you're on the right track. And because of that, we had a bonfire outside. I fell asleep by the bonfire because I was so relaxed.
I should put that video.
No. It's like, who does that? And then I had a bath, and then we had like a nice dinner and played games with some friends. Like it was exactly what I needed. And I think that's also part of the process, because if we're so in, our nervous system is like wound right up. It's
Yeah.
like, how are you actually going to tap into the energy of what you want to create? So part of it, I guess, is prioritizing some of the things that get you to go a little bit slower, making sure that you're connected to the things that bring you joy, which for me is being outside. I love being outside. I love going for hikes. I love going for walks. being
And
in
that
nature.
stuff actually helps you manifest quicker. Like when you take time to go slow and relax your nervous system, as much as in your head you were about, oh, I have to do this, this, and this. And I was like, it is sunny on a Saturday afternoon. There's no wind. We're having a bonfire by the lake. Your nervous system relaxed so much that you fell asleep in the sun. And it actually is going to speed up your manifesting because you took time to rest, to nurture, to get clear. And so going into this next week, all those things that were on your to-do list, they will happen so much easier and faster because you took one day.
I totally agree. And I know for me, it's that time where I'm kind of doing, it's not that I'm doing nothing, but I'm being, I guess, and recharging.
Yeah.
That allows me to then become magnetic.
Yeah.
Because then it's almost like I'm pulling it towards me, opposed to, and I feel like this is for everybody. Yeah. Instead of squeezing the goal. Okay. So for those listening then, how can we make this so simple that it's like, okay, this is my focus. This is the thing that's actually most important, because you're right. At the end of the year, there's a lot of things that we should be doing. We've got to be doing this. There's a lot of others people's expectations, obligations, all the things. So how can we be so dialed in on the things that are truly important, keeping it so simple and keeping our vibration, our frequency high, so that we can actually stay focused on the things that are actually going to move our life and our business forward in the way that we want?
I think it's doing the things that you know that work for you. So like for me, I know getting good night's sleeps is something that I need to have in order to play at my best. Another thing that I know I need connection with. So I love this time of year because there's so many parties, there's so many events, and that stuff is the stuff that fills my cup. Like what we were talking about yesterday, you needed rest. You needed to slow down, which was great because it allowed me to be busy. I needed to do things outside that filled my cup up. And you needed to just rest. So that filled your cup up. I think at this time of year, if we're doing things for everyone else, it's going to drain us. And it's going to take away from our manifestation. But for me, I spent hours just stacking wood. I love monotonous. Is that the word?
Like the most boring,
I love
tedious tasks.
I love them.
It was so great for me.
Yeah. And that stuff fills my cup though. And then I knew we were going to dinner with friends that night. That fills my cup. And so what fills my cup is different than what fills your cup. But that's okay. We can navigate that in order to continue to like have the energy. Like around this time of year is so important.
Yeah.
With the time change, with it getting darker, with the weather changing, with so many events going on.
And I think the things that work best for me, and I think I've always done this, and you probably have too as an athlete, but one is setting the intention before I do anything. So let's use example. We do this literally all the time, but even yesterday before we went to dinner.
Yeah.
We went to a friend's house for dinner, and on the drive there, and we do this literally anywhere we go. As soon as we get in the car, we do this. Usually as soon as we wake up, we do this. But the question is, okay, what's your intention? And we ask the question as if it's already happened. So the way we answer it is like, on the way home, I want to feel like that was way more fun than I even thought it would be. Like I had so much fun. That was the best dinner that we've had.
And I added in that we leave somewhat early. We're not out late because right now I'm prioritizing my sleep.
Yeah.
I said, I want to be out no later than 10. And the best part is we were home by 9 and in bed.
Fabulous.
Yeah. And we had a great time.
Yeah. And another thing we've been doing lately, I think works great for me is when we wake up in the morning, before we get into the day, like usually when we're having our coffee, I'm like, what do you want to be celebrating when we're in bed? Because every night before we go to bed, we say our gratitudes. But this is part of, for me, I find helpful for my visualization and intention setting is I can see and feel the energy that I want to feel going to bed. And usually what that does for me, it gets me out of like the nitty gritty of what I need to be doing and more the feeling and the gratitude I have for how things happened. And then the day goes by in ways that it's almost like it aligns to the highest outcome for the day. Like, oh, I'm so grateful that we had, I don't know, I felt so much fun. I felt like today was the most fun I've had in business.
Right.
And I feel like new opportunities are coming. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Or I feel like another intention that we've been saying lately is like we've been having so much fun with our podcast.
Yeah.
So it's not so much on what are all the things we need to do, but what are our bigger intentions for the day. And I think that for me is so helpful because it's a way that I can connect with the visualization. I do this when I speak. And I think this is why, actually, I used to do it when I was in policing before I went into a call, before I went into...
Please don't get shot. Please don't get shot.
No, I'd be like, or I used to go around and speak to youth. So I was a youth officer and I had to go into classes and I shared the same lesson every day to like 50 classes. So I had to say the same thing over and over again. And by the end, I'm like, this is so not fun. And my energy is like at this, I'm like maxed out, but I would take a moment and I would take a couple deep breaths and I would ground in and I would feel what it felt like to share with the kids and their excitement and how grateful they were that I was there and how much fun I had and the teachers. And what it did is it anchored me back into why I was there, what I was doing, and I always felt better after. So actually, I've been taking that. I do it in my speaking. I see how I want to feel after. I do it before we go on to calls. So I think that's important. So the reason I'm emphasizing this is I would almost say that is the first most important step is being super intentional about what is it that you want to create and focus on. And then from there, we can take aligned action. I would say that is the most important thing. And I think for me, how I can double down on that in the next month or two, especially going into 2025, is I do love a vision board. And we've been working on it, but we haven't like fully anchored it in. But having a vision board that evokes some feeling for me, and maybe it's being okay at taking a little bit longer than I want it to. Like maybe it's over the holidays, kind of.
Yeah.
And we can set it up in the office. I think that's one. I think another thing for me is each day going a little bit slower than I feel comfortable going and taking some time to prioritize, like
slow is fast.
Yeah, prioritize doing these things even before I get out of bed.
Yeah.
Doing them a couple times throughout the day, and then really feeling into the gratitude when I go to sleep.
All right, let's land this plane.
Okay. So if there's one thing that you can leave people, what's your...
Slow is fast right now. I think slow is fast. Right, we're in a fast season, usually around Christmas. Like everything can go fast. I think it's important to take a day like we had yesterday where we have a lot going on right now in our business and in our lives. It's okay to take a day to calm your shit, to let your nervous system rest, to do something for yourself that fills your cup. That's what I would say. Slow is fast right now.
I think my takeaway, or the thing that I'd want to share, is that don't get stuck in the illusion of what's happening in the outside. Like this, you can truly create what you want, but you have to be intentional about it. So focus on what is it that you want and be super intentional.
Yeah.
Right. And have some fun.
Great. Thanks for listening to WTF. Where's the fun?
We're Andrea and Mel, and we're so excited to be on this journey with you to see how fun it can get.
If today's episode brought a little bit more fun into your world, be sure to subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review.
And remember, life and business is so much better when you're following the fun. So let's have some fun.